Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order. First on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. I'm going to make a motion that we amend the agenda and remove item 4 and 5 from the agenda. Executive session and approval of executive session minutes.
I'll second that motion.
Seconded by Mr. Long. Any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0. Now, I'll hear a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I make a motion we approve the amended agenda.
Second.
All those in favor? 5-0. Next will be action items. First, we have the surplus bus.
And this is the bus that I think Stacy talked with y'all about, the special ed bus that has the miles on it that they are going to surplus. 20 years of service,
Pretty good. 20 years?
20 years.
Good maintenance.
So Tracy and Nathan can keep it on
Oh,
rolling.
no, that is a long time.
All right. I'll make a motion that we approve the surplus bus.
I'll second that.
Second by Ms. Lewis. Any discussion? All those in favor? 5-0. Next on the agenda is the tentative approval of our 2016 millage rate with Ms. Smith. What do you have for us?
Good news. We received the digest from the county a few days ago, and after doing some calculating, of course, you know, this is a math problem. They give us the digest, we plug in certain numbers. Our budget is, we already have a tentative approval on the budget. The digest increased for the first time since 2009.
That's good.
That's fantastic. Part of that had to do with reassessment of real property. Another piece from 2009 that actually kept it from having a reduction that year was the first year of an Forest Land Protection Act credit that the county received. So it would have gone back a little further had it not been for that, but that was when it was introduced. So we would like to request a reduction in the millage rate for the FY17 school year, but the 2016 millage rate from 16.1 to 15.98. That will satisfy the budget requirement. We had requested in the budget $21,400,000, and this will produce $21,497,613. Questions?
So we're
Sounds
gonna
good.
So we're going to have to go below 16.
First time in how long?
Below 16? Actually, you can look on the 5-year history. In 2011, it was 15.97.
Oh, yeah.
And it was actually
So we're going back
15.97.
to-
So we're right just a little bit above that, but
Right.
15.98.
so 15.98.
I like it.
I do too.
Ready for motion?
Looking for a motion?
Okay, I make a motion that we set the millage at 15.980.
Tentative approval.
Tentative. Okay, and,
Yeah, 'cause we'll do the final vote
okay,
in September.
tentative.
Second.
Second by Ms. Long. Any other discussion? I, for one, as a taxpayer, am glad we're doing this. All those in favor? 5-0.
I'm not sure everyone in the county will be happy because we're not the only ones who have a millage rate.
I understand.
But
I understand.
But we're doing our part.
yes, ma'am.
We're doing our
Bottom
part.
line is the digest went up.
Yes.
Right.
So really, you're not going to see a tax.
That's what I was going to say, probably about the same.
The bill goes out the same.
Well, it depends. If your valuation, if you received a notice and your valuation on your home increased, you could possibly have an increase. But if it did not change, it should go down on our part.
Right.
Now, there are other pieces to the millage rate. And also, we have required advertising that has to be done. We have to run the tentative budget and the tentative millage rate. You'll see, I think, as you see there, that's a draft. Until y'all voted, it's not final. We'll get this to the newspaper. It will run next Thursday along with the tentative budget. Then at the September 8th regular board meeting, we'll ask for final approval.
When do you think we'll see the county millage rate?
They usually react pretty quickly. I have not talked to them the last couple of days to see when they're setting their meetings. You know?
Monday, well, Monday.
I heard next week.
Tentative or final?
Tentative.
Tentative.
I
They
heard
have
next
to
week.
run.
What time?
10
I
o'clock.
think it's September 1st.
Oh,
Is that
that,
right?
oh, the call meeting?
meeting?
Oh, I thought it was Monday, the 29th. Hold on, I'll double check, because
Monday's not-
I've posted it.
I think it's the 1st.
And
That's their regular
we don't
meeting,
have
she sent two things.
compares
The
to
first is the worst, it's Monday at 10,
surrounding
the
counties,
29th.
Not for 16, a lot of
We
people are
got
still
two
setting
notices
theirs. I can find out. I know I can pull last year's information and see where everyone was, but I'll see what information I can get from
Bear with
this
me.
year. If it has been approved at this point, a lot of counties have been, or they're in the process. It's just not published yet. The document we get that has the entire state of Georgia published, so it's several months out from now before we get that link. I can check, I can give you anything from last year or prior to, but if I can find out about surrounding counties, I can email it to you.
That'd be great.
Any, just our normal comparisons.
Yeah, the normal suspects.
We can do that.
But particularly Gilman, because I
Okay.
think that's what our senior citizens keep comparing us
Okay.
Amy will not be here for a regular board meeting, so, and this will come back on the agenda. The final approval for the budget and for the millage, right? So
And-
if there are any questions that you have of Amy, it'd be,
We can call it a Mexican.
You've seen the international rates. I might not answer. I will tell you, there are some changes to our advertising requirement. If you do not have a tax increase, you only have to advertise for a week. It has been 2 weeks, the whole time I've worked here. The budget only had to be advertised 1 week, but we've always done them together and done it for 2 weeks. So if there were to be a tax increase, there is still a requirement to have 3 public hearings and advertise it for 2 weeks, and it's a process. You have to do certain things and wait a week and have a meeting and set another one. But we won't have to do that. The other thing that's new this year is we are required to post it on our website. So because you've done the approval tonight, I can't get the ad in the paper until next Thursday, but we're going to go ahead and post both on our school website. The county actually has to do a verification process that we've done that before they can take the digest down to the state for approval in a few weeks. So just so y'all know, if anybody says, oh, would you put it on the website? Yes, we'll do that tomorrow. If you have any questions, just let me know over the next week, but we don't have to advertise a week now. I was very surprised that they cut that back. It's been that way as long as I've worked in education. So.
and the final budget's going to be, very much it's going to be like the tentative budget.
Right. The only changes that I've, we've added some staff, we've added some teachers, and some parapros. We have a contingency plan in there. We do budget enough money to cover that. But I've actually manually taken all the people who left us out. All the new people have gone in. We've run the calculation. We're fine. The only changes I would have with the budget would be within the function code. It's not increasing anything overall. We had a request from some of the all the K-8 principals. There's a software program they would like to purchase that would be used as a diagnostic tool in the schools. We had a program last year called SMI that we had funded out of Title I. We were very, very unhappy with it, and we asked for a refund and got it, $31,000. So this program would replace that program, but it does some things that are a little different than SMI. They've all reviewed it. There have been a lot of conversations, and that's one reason Linda came, just in case there were any questions about it. But I would like to reallocate some money from salaries and benefits, because I've gone through with a fine-tooth comb, and if it's all right with y'all, I've not changed anything in the function code instruction, but I've tweaked, or I need to tweak, a few object codes so that they can get this software. And the reason I wanted to say something about it is it cost $19,000. The program we had last year was over $31,000. So this is a little less expensive. I think it will actually do more than the program we had last year, and it has an expansion into actually instructional modules that can be funded out of Title I. So This is the base part. Special ed has already been using this program in our schools, and a couple of our elementaries have used pieces in their like gifted program. So the other schools, the K-8 schools, all want the diagnostic piece of this tool. So if it's okay with you, I'm going to continue to tweak and move some down into operating from salary and benefits. I've checked everything. We're good to go. We have money to cover it all. We are still working. We're looking at a sub-program. We have actually done a couple of webinars and had a couple of groups come in to hear different webinars, gotten some pricing. We're looking at more than one program, though. We actually have a program that we have discovered has a sub-piece to it, too. So we're still evaluating, and, you know, actually there's a webinar again tomorrow with a different company. So we're looking at some things. The cost on a program like this, depending on what you want to launch for the system, there are lots of different pieces. The ones we're interested in are the sub-management and the time management. We actually have a time management program we've already paid for this year. That's that fob thing you see our teachers. It's on their key ring, a little yellow thing. They walk by, and that's how they check in for the day and check out for the day. Anybody who travels and goes from school to school, they fob in out of school. When they leave, they fob out. They fob in at the next location. So that's our time clock, I guess you could say. We already have that piece. These other programs offer different varieties of these things, so we're trying to see what works best with ours, what could eliminate some of the work that we're having to do and the headache with the call and the subs. So we're still evaluating the programs. The cost for a full year for a program like this appears to be somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000. It could potentially, once we get to the end of this research, save us that much money in time our employees are spending calling, tracking, we want a program that will integrate with our payroll system so they're not having the redundancy of re-entering sub-pay. So we're looking at a lot of things, and we're going to make sure it's a good system. It's not going to cause more headache than we already have, but it is a little expensive. It's $10,000 to $15,000. We have enough money. I can fund it out of instruction if it is for teachers. One thing that no one really thought about for a while was our bus drivers, our transportation department might want to use it too. So we haven't gotten that far. We're going to get them in the loop. Once we have enough information to we want to narrow it down a little bit. There's still a lot of questions about how do you get from here to here? How do you make this work? So we're working on that, and hopefully we will have something going. I don't know that it would be something we can finish by the end of September. We're looking for probably the next quarter, October to December, or maybe even a start of January 1. But we are looking at those. The turnaround time on the first company we've talked with is 4 to 6 weeks. Once you issue a purchase order saying you'll do the program, it's 4 to 6 weeks from then before they can schedule us. So, just kind of keep that in mind. I know some people would really like us to get this done, but we need to do our due diligence to make sure this is an appropriate product and it's not going to cause more heartache for our employees. Some of them can be a very good tool, and I think one in particular we've looked at, it looks good. Other counties around us are using it. It's called ASOP. It's through Frontline is the name of the company, but Dawson County just got it just started it in March. Gordon County's had it for a couple of years, so we want to talk to these people. We want to see how their implementation went, and we want to see what some folks think about it that have been using it for a while. Gilmer uses a different type of tool that they offer. It's an expandable program. You can use it for several things. So we're still doing our due diligence, and we do have a lot going on right now, so I hate to put it off, but it's probably not going to get completely done in the next month. But tomorrow, the webinar, that should tell us if we even need to be looking. We've looked at several products. I think we can probably narrow it down to one after tomorrow.
Cherokee uses it as well, right?
Cherokee uses a couple of pieces of it. So we just want to make sure it works for us. We know it's been highly recommended by big systems. We need to know if it would work for us.
So a teacher would enter her leave date, whatever that might be, and then the subs have an opportunity then to go in and say, yes, I can handle that for.
All of our approved subs would be entered into the computer, and they would set up a password and login. If you need to be out, you go in and you create a leave request. It goes to your supervisor, typically a principal. Principal says, yes, okay, you can be off, because we do need that to happen in our process. And then it throws it out there in the pool. So the subs then can sign in and go pick the ones. If we need to, say you need a certain certification, say it's a long-term sub and it's over 45 days, and maybe it's special ed, and we need a certain certificate to go in there, we can actually, it has enough controls on it. You can set what you want that person to be able to have. If you don't have what we need you to have, if we need a certification level, if we need certain things, we can set that. So if you aren't an appropriate person for that slot, you won't ever see it. But the ones that are would. Long-term subs, we need a certified person for several reasons. Maternity leaves. We want a teacher teaching. We don't want a babysitter. So there are lots of things about this particular program that looks good. I really want to talk to somebody who's used it. A couple of our employees that were on the committee that looked at it had used it in another system. One had a negative opinion of it from the past. Two had a positive opinion. The one that had the negative opinion by the time we were done she seemed very pleased with the products. So we're going to keep her. It had been about 10 years since she had used that product. So
Didn't they say it helps with the Affordable Care Act and monitoring the hours?
Yes, that is a high priority in whatever product we purchase. ACA is here. It means if your employee, subs are not technically defined as employees or full-time employees. If they work, though, an average of potential working days, so 180 days in a school year typically for a teacher, if they work an average of 30 hours or more in a week and it's a long story, but it's typically a year. You can pick your look-back period, but during whatever period you identify as your look-back period, there can be a requirement. You must offer them insurance. And if you don't meet all the requirements and you don't make sure that you're taking care of this, it can cost $2,000 per person for everyone in our system that has health insurance or qualifies for health insurance. So it's a very long and complicated thing, but we have been handling it, but most of it is manually, and that's usually me. So I'm kind of excited about having a tool that will monitor that for us. And if it were to come up that we did have someone who qualifies, you have a certain period of time to offer the person the benefit. So it would help us with the timing part of the ACA requirement, because it is very strict. And for 2016, it's a 95%. So, there are lots of caveats in it. Anywhere from 95 to 98%, you must offer to your full-time employees. You must prove that you offer to your full-time employees. Whether they took it or not doesn't matter, but you have to prove the offer. So if we have some subs, all of our full-time people are offered insurance. But if we don't prove that the sub pool, the ones that qualify, that we're taking care of them too, it doesn't take many people to make us non-compliant when the rule changes. It went from 70% to 95% and will go to 97 and 98 before it's over. So it's something that we really are having to pay attention to. So I'm eager to get a tool that will help me not have to check person by person every month. So
Thanks for working on that, Amy.
and I do want people to understand it's not a simple thing. You can't just grab something, throw it out there, and it worked well with everything that we need to look at. So it is a little tedious and takes a little bit of time, but we want a good one. If we're going to do it, we need to do it right. So, but that is still in the works. The copy repair and replacement is still in the works. I've been working on this for over 6 weeks. Even today, Dr. Perry got run out of my office so I could talk to the rep I've been talking to. We will have something I think we can work within what we've already put in the budget. And I mentioned we might do some purchasing, some lease, and some service contracts. We're working through different scenarios right now, so I learn something new every day. But that one, I think our budget will be able to handle it. I have a plan A, plan B, and plan C. So as soon as I get all that tweaked down, I got some information very late this afternoon. It was at 5 o'clock. I just didn't have time I couldn't calculate all the scenarios I needed to, so that'll take me a little bit more time. But I think we're okay.
The proposal that we were looking at in our budget didn't work out because the person is not willing to work 2 counties. He's only going to work in County Line.
We offered, he had actually talked to us, and we worked through it, and when we made the offer, once the tentative was approved, we made the offer of employment. He rejected it and said, I've changed my mind. So that's when we drop back and punt and try again. So, but we'll have something worked out shortly. We do have a plan in place. Our copies are being serviced. Anything that goes down, they're taken care of. And he actually told me this week, he said, please don't pay these invoices right now. We're going to get this worked out. And I said, well, we've already paid some, because if you give me a bill, it's going to be paid within a week. But, I think we'll have something to update you with in the next couple of weeks. We've had representatives on site looking at machines, and we had some requests, and I think we do need to, before we finalize it, go back to the schools and make sure this is what is going to work. I want to hear, I haven't talked to them. He did. I wanted to hear from them too. So that's something we were talking about today. So, but we'll get it all worked out. But I think our budget, we're fine with our budget. What we budgeted, I can handle it, I believe. So, any questions? Oh, no. You should see my desk right now.
Great job.
I have said piles matter because she has all these piles of papers, and she knows exactly what's in them. So,
They all have dates that are due.
yes.
So it would be a good time for the cleaning crew to trip.
They don't get to touch my desk.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is the approval of personnel.
Make a motion, we approve the personnel report as presented.
Motion to approve it.
I'll second that.
Second by Ms. Lewis. Any discussion? One thing I like to say before we vote on it is we are losing an employee that has done a lot for our school system for a lot of years.
Yes.
And I think he was doing a great job in his new position, so hopefully we can find someone to replace him with the same qualifications. We have more people coming in to our parent meetings than we ever have.
Ever had.
So,
2 this week, and we had great attendance, and he relates well to the parents here. I think they enjoyed the presentations and the input, because, most of the meeting was hearing from parents. So I told him he did an outstanding job with both of those sessions, and we do regret losing him. It will be the Georgia Department of Ed's game here. They're getting an outstanding employee. And also on here, we have a new kindergarten teacher going to Hill City, and we have an additional 4th grade teacher that's been added at Harmony. So, and both of these people were already within the school system. Abby's done a great job, with pre-K at Hill City, and they've been very pleased also with the media bureau, and she had a teaching certificate. So it's exciting that we're moving the people who are working with us into these positions, and we're able to do that.
okay. Any other discussion? All those in favor? 5-0. Next on the agenda is board comments.
I have one. To Linda, thank you for the ACT information, and my question is, do you have similar data from SAT? You will get it, don't you think? Okay, I'd be interested in seeing that, because I know we have a lot more students that take the SAT than that ACT. Thank you.
Gotta be right.
You're not going to say anything about that.
Oh, yeah. Pickens County did make the AJC twice,
Yes, we did. That's good.
and both of them were good things. They talked about our football team, how they destroyed a 7A or 6A school, and then we're ranked number 8 in the whole state in teacher pay. So,
And it looked like we were the only rural system.
only rural system.
Yeah, there were some
In the
city
top 10.
systems, small city systems, but they're usually are
Right.
pretty high, but still. But just as I looked at it, there were large systems, and then there
Oh,
was
yes.
us.
To
And
be
then
in
there's
that
us.
group of 10,
And
did
I
y'all
just
see,
thought that
did
was
you see the
fantastic.
I didn't
article?
see it, no. I
Okay,
saw the
did y'all see it?
football. I saw the football
You didn't see
article.
the...
Yeah.
I didn't see
Yeah,
the salary article.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
I'll
the
find it,
top
though.
10 schools. Well, it talks about the wide range of pay in the state, but then it gives the best, the top 10, and we were number 8.
The teacher pay.
Yeah,
I will
think
find it.
Yeah, look that up.
But yeah, that was a good thing.
It was.
Lets people know that we are way above average in teacher pay. Cherokee only beat us by, what, 600?
That was very small.
Yeah. $610.
Yeah, $610.
I think that's right, 16 or 618 a year.
And they're huge compared to us. So I'm just going to go ahead and say we're doing a better job than that.
But we have a
Go
low
ahead and say it.
teacher-student ratio.
I'm going
I think
to.
that
We
we
do
do.
have, we do have a lower.
Yes.
Does the lower.
Any other comments? Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Yay.
5-0.
Good job.